Hey, what's up? I'm the Nerd on the Street, and last week my videos were on the Microsoft Surface and Apple's WWDC 2012. Two very big tech companies did things, and they were exciting, and I covered them. And now Google did something today. They had their I/O Developer Conference on Wednesday, the 27th, today. And they did a couple of things. They talked about the, Google Glass, and they also did a couple of things with the Nexus. And I'm going to tell you what Google did. I'll also be doing another video, hopefully, because, just one seems a little, especially if it's just a product announcement. Oh, just a product announcement, yeah. Maybe I'll do like a Nook color review, since I don't want to go too in-depth with that, considering it's an outdated model anyways. But anyway, let's talk about Google. Google is really, they used to just be a search company. And then they started doing some other stuff. They started doing Gmail. They started doing Maps. Google Earth was really big for a while. It's not quite as big now because most people just use Maps now. But there's Images, Google Docs I used to use, and now they have Google Drive along with Google Play, which is the newer version of the Android market that is also available on non-Android devices. And it's pretty neat. They've also got their Google Plus, which I love, but nobody is in any of my circles because nobody I know is using it, so add me. But they got Google Calendar. I know people who use they Google YouTube. Hello. They've got all sorts of stuff. So they've really been creeping up on companies in terms of software, especially web-based software like cloud stuff. And as you may be aware of, Google actually has two operating systems. They have Android, and they have Chrome OS. Now, if you don't know what Chrome OS is, then Google has a browser, Google Chrome. Chrome OS is an operating system that is that browser. Like, you turn on your Chrome OS, Chromebooks, they call them, and it turns on, like, in the amount of time that your web browser launches in, and then it's just Google Chrome. And, like 5 years ago, that would have been like, what the heck? Like, we can't work with this. But, now, especially with services that people like Google are doing, you really can. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about something that has to do with Android. Android is Google's mobile operating system. My phone has Android on it. The little buttons at the bottom. Those are Android. Now, they're not the new Android buttons. Android has some problems with its open source architecture, including fragmentation. What that is, there's Android 1. Does anybody use Android 1 out there? There's Android 2.1 and 2.2 is Froyo and Gingerbread. I'm just going to name the ones I know the names of. There's Android 3 is Honeycomb. Android 4 is Ice Cream Sandwich. And then Android 4.1, which came out today, is Jelly Bean. So, the problem is, like, most of the Android tablets that aren't too new are still running 3.0 Honeycomb, and almost the majority of Android smartphones are running 2.2, some of them are on 2.1, some older tablets are still running 2.1, actually. And you've got a couple of the new phones are running Android 4.0, and then the ones they launched today are like the only ones so far running 4.1. So, yeah, there are quite a few versions, but, that is an issue with Android. And actually, I might just cut that entire part out, because it wasn't related. But anyways, today we're talking about something that has to do with Android, and Google released some new stuff. their Nexus products line. You know, have you ever heard of like the Nexus S? Nexus S, yeah? Or the, it's not Galaxy Nexus that's by Samsung, no. It's not what we're talking about. Google actually has their own line of stuff. It used to just be one phone, only one. It was the Nexus, and Google actually made it. Like, Google made it. Like, Motorola didn't make it, or, like, Samsung did. Like, companies, OEMs didn't make it. Google actually made it. Just like how we talked about with the Microsoft Surface last week. Google actually makes the Nexus products themselves. And before, all that there was the Google Nexus S. That was a smartphone. The only freaking smartphone that was running Android 4. But it was, I think, pretty good. I had read some reviews. But today, Android released 3 new Nexus products. If you go to google.com/Nexus, that's Nexus, by the way, there are 3 things there. There's a phone, there's a tablet, and then there's a little spear thing that looks like an iPod docking station or something. But there are 3 things here. Alright, so the phone is called the Galaxy Nexus. Oops. Alright, Google does make the Galaxy Nexus. So, there's also the Nexus 7 is the tablet. Very big, we're going to get to that. And then finally, we'll also talk about the Nexus Q. Alright, now, phone. Nexus. Galaxy Nexus. Latest smartphone from Google. Soon with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. And it's got a Samsung logo on the back, so Samsung does help make it. And, you know, one of the other ones has an Asus logo on the back, so I guess that I was a little wrong, but Google actually does make them. They just make them with the help of these other companies. So the Galaxy Nexus is with Samsung, and yeah, it runs Android 4.1 now. And okay, let's take a look at the features, shall we? Galaxy Nexus is the latest smartphone from Google. Best Google mobile services. So obviously it's going to have very good Google integration because it's made by Google themselves. Other people don't have to develop for Google. Google makes it themselves. No contract, commitment free. That's nice. Designed for Android. Designed for Android. So, once again, Android doesn't have to be designed for the phone because the phone was designed specifically for Android. You know, you all know about Android 4.0, and 4.1 is just a little bit better. Honestly, I haven't studied up too much on the phone. It's when rapid fire typing. Yep, you got the auto guesses what you're typing and type with your voice. And with Google, or with Android, like, if you have an older Android phone, like, with, like, Gingerbread, sorry, then if you use, voice typing, you'll see here, I'll just pull something up. Here. Voice search. So, you'll see here, if I tap the voice search button there, Jacob Kaufman. Wait, no. Nothing recognizes my name. Sorry. I'll search for Microsoft Surface, just because. Microsoft Surface. Okay, so you'll see it, it had the little, did you know? It had the little, yeah, it had the speaking box where you talked while that box was up, and then after you got done talking, then the little thing goes around and then it puts in what you're saying, or what you just said. So you talk all at once, and after that, it puts it all in all at once. Android 4.0 and Android 4.1, when you talk, you tap the, talk button, and then every word you say, it puts it in while you're still talking. so you can type longer documents with fewer mistakes and not having to tap as much either. And you know, fewer mistakes because you can actually, with this, if I wanted to type up an entire like product review, then I'd have to first figure out what I'm going to say because otherwise it'll time out. And then I have to say it all at once without making any mistakes, hopefully, and after that I have to go back and edit it. But with the Android 4.x operating systems, when you're talking, it actually puts it in while you're doing it. So if the phone makes a mistake, it'll still make the same mistakes, but you can fix them while you're still talking. You don't have to, like if you're on a roll, you don't have to stop just because the phone made a mistake. Or you made a mistake. Maybe you did. You won't have to stop. You can just keep, you can correct it and then keep talking. So that's good. Microsoft Exchange, of course Google Calendar. It's Google. Yep, Microsoft Exchange stuff. And some controls like check data usage and notifications. Camera. I heard they did some stuff with the camera. Zero shutter lag. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get, if it has the live view, then how come it takes longer to take an actual picture than to get the live view? Why doesn't it just, like, capture what's on the screen? Or something of that sort. Maybe I'm talking, like, stupid things, I don't know, but single motion panoramic mode, I've used that on my phone, it's nice. HD video camera, instant upload, photo editing. Alright, so you get some basic photo editing things. There's a new People app that works with Google+. You know, Google+ Messenger and Hangouts and stuff. And somehow they also have a separate thing called Google Talk that is sort of a messenger and video calling thing. You got your quick response, like when you can't take a call, I'll call you right back, I'll call you later, custom message. Just, they already had that, but they kind of added some more and made it nicer. Like, iOS added it the other day. You know, you've got the entire thing on Android, especially on these new ones. Like, on old ones, it was like, sort of, kind of, but on these new ones, it's like 100%. If you, like, well, I'll start at the beginning. When you sign in with your Google account when you're setting it up, from that point forward, every single thing you do is synced with Google's servers. It's the cloud. And then, like, if you get another device, like, let's say you lose the first one. So here's my phone, and I just lost it. Okay, so I get a new one. Oh. And, the new one's broken, too, because I just hit it. No, it's not actually broken, but, so I get the new one, and then I can actually just type in my Google account stuff, tap on the name of my old phone, and then you can, yeah, like the entire thing, applications and their data, are downloaded onto your new phone. So it is 100% exactly like the original. Near field communications, they've been doing some nice stuff with that. You know, just like bump on your iOS device where you bump it and then it switches whatever you've selected with other iOS devices. Not switches, but shares. It's kind of like that. They call it Android Beam. Face Unlock, that also came with 4.0, but it's also in 4.1, which I really wish. This has a front-facing camera, and it's not too shabby. It's okay. I know for a fact that I could use this Face Unlock thing if somebody, Motorola or Google or someone, would issue an update for that. This is new. You know, Google Now, it's called. No, of course you don't know. That's why you're watching the video. But you get these little cards in this stream, and whenever something like... It's basically like reminders in iOS, but it's got a bit more, and it's a bit more detailed. And you know, like if you arrive somewhere, like if somewhere's on your calendar and then you get there, then you can use this to check in. And yeah. Google Play, Google Maps. Alright, so Google Chrome is on these now. Like I just have the browser on my other, Android stuff, which I kind of like how it works, especially because it's so fast, even though it doesn't save the actual data from websites when I have multiple windows open, just the website's link. Some people see that as a downside. I see it as partially downside, but partially an upside, because that means I can have a ton of windows open at once without having to worry about taking up too much RAM. Gmail, apparently it's better than ever on the Galaxy Nexus. I'm reading this as I'm going. So you can swipe back and forth between email threads. Alright, so instead of like clicking the up and down, you can just swipe between emails. Nice. Offline search for Gmail. Alright, Google Plus Hangouts. There's a 1.3 megapixel. I'll get to the tech specs for this in a minute. And YouTube in HD. Alright. 20. Okay. Alright. Whatever. So there's gallery. Why don't we just pull up a picture of this real quick? Shall we? Because I just love messing with my tripod. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, so... Wow. I thought the picture on the other page looked better than that. Alright, we'll show you the one in the gallery. Even though it looks like it's like a lower resolution or something. Which is really weird. The gallery one should have higher resolution. Just so everybody knows. But so there is the new Google Galaxy Nexus. Sorry, it's tilted. My laptop has a counterintuitive setup, but yep, that's what it is. Oh, I always angle it too far down. One day I'll fix that. Okay. So that was that. Next, tablet. 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 I am excited. Some people predicted that when Google, I'm talking so fast I can't talk. Some people predicted that when Google launched a tablet, they would put Chrome OS on it, which I thought would be perfectly reasonable, but this is pretty cool. The Nexus 7 is what it's called, because it's a 7-inch tablet, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get this, and then like a day later they'll release the Nexus 10 and the Nexus 14, because I want a 14-inch tablet, no bigger than that, but nobody makes them. But yeah, it's a 7-inch tablet called the Nexus 7, and there's an Asus logo on the back of this one. It's still by Google though. Like, Asus might make some of the parts. Google still, like, makes it... It's Google's. It belongs to Google, not Asus. The other one does not belong to Samsung. These are Google's stuff. Just to make it clear. Okay, so... Front-facing webcam. Why don't we just go through the features? Thin, light, and portable. Okay. 1280 by 800 in a 7-inch screen. Somebody else did the math for that was not me. But, because I was watching a live feed from somebody earlier. On YouTube. I think it was like 160 pixels per inch, possibly. I don't know. It's a 7-inch screen with a 16:9 contrast ratio, and it's a 1280 by 800 display. And it's no slouch. So do the math if you really want to. I do think it's 160 or 116, one of those two. But it's good. I know. At least that's what other people have said. Corning Gorilla Glass, you know, the tough stuff. Over 1 million pixels in your hand. Over 1 million pixels in a 17-inch tablet, that would be ridiculous. Over 1 million pixels in a 7-inch tablet, that is quite a bit, you know. And there's, you know, HD movies, gameplay. Alright, so that is hopefully going to be nice. Less charging, more doing. Over 8 hours of HD video playback, 10 hours of web browsing or e-reading. That's what they say. I'm not doing that yet. If I ever get one, then maybe I'll do a battery test, but that's just what they're saying. 8 hours of HD video playback, 10 hours of web browsing, or 10 hours of reading, which I know I can probably test any of those with my, I don't know, some point or another, but alright, so it's got a quad-core processor, gyroscope, and accelerometer. Gyroscope is the fancy thing there, because everything has an accelerometer now, but the gyroscope is what makes it great. Like, accelerometer, it can tell if you're turning it, like, this way, but the gyroscope, it can tell if you're turning it, like, this way. Yeah, so Apple put that into their iPhone, but I don't think there's one on the iPad, but yeah. So yeah, there's an NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core processor, and that is, I guess, the part that ASUS does, or maybe ASUS just puts it together. It says was built by ASUS and comes with an NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core processor. 12-core GPU. Alright, I thought I had heard this wrong when I was watching the live feed, but 12-core GPU. This thing is more powerful than my laptop, because my laptop has a dual-core processor and a single-core GPU. But yeah, it's got a 12-core GPU. And the processor is a 4+1 design, which what that means is there is the quad-core processor, but it gets better. There's actually 5 cores. There's 4 that are like really big, and then there's 1 small one. And when you're using your tablet for things like games and like really high-res or high-quality like movies and stuff, then it's going to use these 4, and it's going to use them. And then when you're not using your tablet for anything, then it's going to switch to the small one to save battery power. So, hope you like the visualization there, but, so yeah, I think there's the small one is an ARM, maybe, it doesn't say what the smaller one is, but yeah. Powered by Android 4.1, Jelly Bean, once again. If you don't know why I'm calling it Jelly Bean, Android, they're called names. Like Froyo, Gingerbread, Honeycomb, Ice Cream Sandwich, Jelly Bean. That's just what Google does. Ask them, not me. Smarter notifications, new widgets, home screen customization. That's drag and drop. Those are new things in Android, not in just the tablet, but it says that it is made for Google Play. So I understand why it's saying that. It's made by Google. And not only is it running the newest version of Android, but it's also made by the people who make Android. And both of those things use Google Play. Basically, you know, on your iOS device, you have the App Store for apps and games, and you have iTunes, the iTunes Store, for movies and music and things like that, and then you have the iBook Store for ebooks. With Google Play, you get your ebooks, movies, music, apps, games, and magazines all in one store, all in one place, like Google Play. You know, the Google Play's music, I think I'm going to try out because, you know, like, if I were to switch from, like, Amazon, I don't know, like, if I bought a song in Windows Media, can you buy songs in Windows Media Player? I don't know, let's say I did. And then I wanted to switch from iTunes. I don't care if you can't, let's just say that I did anyway. I did the impossible, bought a song in Windows Media Player, I want to switch to iTunes. I can put those songs into iTunes on one computer, but it won't automatically synchronize to other computers or to my iPod unless I'm syncing it with this computer. With Google Play, you can upload up to 20,000, I think. Only 20,000 songs that you already have. You already, like, you bought them on iTunes. You can put those onto Google Play. And not only are they on Google Play, like, on one specific device, you can get to them from any of your Android devices, and you can get to them online whenever you want, for free, without paying Google anything, even if you got it from, like, Android or it's a different approach, and it's new, and it is extremely convenient, is basically, if you don't get what that is. Just to sum it up. Yep, up to 20,000 songs. Cannot include DRM protected, so that... Shoot. That's gonna rule out quite a few, isn't it? Nevertheless, great concept. That's probably for legal issues, otherwise I bet they would. Google Now, once again. Yeah. Yep, best of Google. It has Gmail, Chrome, Google+, YouTube. And yeah, now there's Google Now. Yep. Alright, so tech specs, which I forgot to do for the phone, but 7-inch 1280, 216, that's 216 pixels per inch, because it's a 7-inch 1280 by 800 display. It says HD, that high definition is relative, marketing tactic, much, yeah. Backlit IPS display, that means you can turn it and still be able to see what's on the screen, tilt it to, you know, like this, if you didn't get my visualizations. You can, like, tilt it and turn it, and you'll still be able to see what's on the screen. 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Front-facing camera, alright, so it's 1.2 megapixels, which isn't bad for a mobile device. Especially not if you're just, like, doing video calls. If I'm doing video calls, I don't want this thing bogging down the internet for my entire house anyways, so... Because it can happen, at least for me. Weight, 340 grams. And I looked that up. It is... Wait, 340 grams. Ounces. 340 grams. Turn on suggestions. That's why I like using Google Chrome. Alright. 11... Alright, so about 12 ounces is 340 grams. So, like, you know, like Barnes & Noble's lightest Nook is 7 ounces. This is about 12. So, just for comparison. Memory, 8 or 16 gigabyte internal storage, and to get the 16 gigs, it's $50 more. 1 gigabyte RAM. Battery, there's a fancy looking specification, and then it says up to 8 hours of active use. Quad-core Tegra 3 processor for the CPU. Size, 198.5 by 120 by 10.45 millimeters. Pretty good, I think. Wireless, Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN, Bluetooth 2, the standard, the usual. There is one micro USB port for charging and syncing and fun stuff like that. Operating system Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, and features microphone, near field communication, which is Android Beam. My mouth is only dry when I'm doing these videos. This isn't how I am all the time. Accelerometer, GPS, magnetometer. I think that's like a compass thing, but like magnets, you know. Gyroscope. So this thing is not a slouch. It's not like, oh, Google released a tablet. It's like with the competition, and it's just, you know, no. This thing has possibly like quad-core processor, 12-core GPU, magnetometer, gyroscope. In terms of hardware, I'm not going to say it's the best. I am going to say it is very high-end. One of the best, I'll even go so far as to say. Alright? One of the best I've seen. Price, because once again we skipped over that before. Sorry. Price is $199, so $200. Yeah, I round all the time. Why am I $200 for the 8 gig version, $250 for the 16 gig version, so you can double the memory. You can double the storage. Sorry. You can double the storage for $50. Gallery. This one, I'm going to show you the one on the features page. Solely, not because it's a better quality, but solely because it shows the front and the back. The camera's not tilted. The laptop screen is. You listening, HP? But yeah, you'll see, there it is. And actually, here. There we go. So there that is. Right now, to me, it looks like it's just a tall picture, but to you, I realize this is going to be sideways. So you can either turn your head, or pretend that the image on the screen turned too. Adjust my tripod there. Okay. And you'll see it does on the back. It has the, I don't know if it's rubbery or just plastic or what, but it does have a little grip. That thing there is the speaker, because, like, the person whose live stream I was listening to said, is there a speaker? I mean, there's got to be a speaker. Why didn't they say anything about it? Maybe they didn't say anything about a speaker because everything has a speaker, and it's not really necessary to talk about unless it's a really special speaker. You'll see just above that, there is, I think the USB port actually is right there, and then the Asus logo is right there. So Asus has a part in this, but once again, it is not their tablet, it's Google's. You'll see Nexus. I think that's all. So yeah, that is that. Alright, I'm going to see if I can actually not screw up my camera angle this time. Oh, so close. I was better. Oh. Crud. We're zoomed out, right? Okay. I guess I should be thankful that my camera can zoom while I'm recording, because some of them can't. Okay, what are we at? Just under 40 minutes. Wow, I spent more time on the phone? No, I think I spent more time on the tablet, because I am more excited. and when I get more excited, I have more to say. There goes the last of the ice. I must have just spent a few minutes on the intro. Alright, next, lastly, I have no idea what the heck this next thing is, but I'm gonna click it. There's phone, tablet, player. The player is the one that looks like a sphere. It's the Nexus Q. Meet the world's first social... Go back. Okay, if you're going to put a slideshow on your website, make it like give you a few seconds to read before you meet the world's first social streaming media player. Thank you. Alright, so it looks like it connects to a TV. Doesn't look like there's wires, but it never does. Oh no, there's wires. So, features. Let's see what this is. The world's first social streaming media player. Don't look at me, I've never seen this. Alright, so let's read this page. Built to play. Streams your favorite entertainment directly from the cloud to your living room. So it looks like it might compete with the Apple TV. Because it says it streams it right from the cloud to your stuff. It doesn't download first. So, like a streaming Apple TV. No downloads, no syncing, no running out of space. Just sync the stuff you love. So yes, making use of the cloud. I've got a video coming up about why I put cloud in quotes. Because it's not that special. We've had it for a very long time. But we just gave it a new name, and now it's not just web servers. Yes, it is. It's the cloud. But yeah, making use of the cloud. Music. You know, yep, uploads your up to 20,000 of your iTunes or Windows Media Player library to Google Play. Choose a song from the, music app on your phone or tablet, and you can play it with the Nexus Q. So this is looking a whole lot like Android or Google's version of the Apple TV. Movies and TV. Browse or search on your phone or tablet and stream whatever you want to watch to your HD TV with Nexus Q. YouTube videos. Use your Android phone or tablet to search for a specific video or Explorer category. Cue the party. Alright, so there's, guest mode where other people can connect to your network and add things. Okay, I'm sorry if I sounded like I was speaking negatively when I said it was like the Apple TV, because the Apple TV is a pretty great device. This is really cool. Different approach, same use. Usually it's same approach, different use. This is a different approach for the same use. This is a little, instead of the box like the Apple TV, it's a little sphere. It does have a flat bottom, don't worry, it won't roll away. And while the Apple TV has a remote to the TV, and you plug the TV into the TV, and then you see the Apple TV menu, and you can click around with the TV itself. What Android, and then you can use your iOS stuff as remotes. But with this Nexus Q, what it looks like is you can use your Android device to actually use the menus on your device rather than with a remote on the screen. Actually use them, use the menus on your device, look at what you want to see on your device first, and then you can wirelessly push that to the TV, and then or speakers or whatever. and you know it uses Google services instead of Apple TV. And then there's also a party mode, just like on the desktop version of iTunes, but it's on the Q, and you control it all with your Android device. So, yeah, a whole lot similar to the Apple TV. If I could pick one or the other, honestly, I don't know. This looks pretty great. The Apple TV is nice. If I was hosting an event, I would definitely want the Q. Because if I had the Apple TV, then everyone would see me clicking through the menus. But it looks like with the Q, nobody sees any menus. It's just they only see the stuff. And then all the menus are on your own phone or tablet. And you can still control it remotely. So yeah, it just depends really on which would you rather do. Would you rather browse on your Android device and then push your content to your TV or speakers? Or would you rather control things through your TV itself? Other than that, Google and Apple, like the different services, are basically all that seem to differ. Not just another black box. Alright, now I see. There's decorations. So, this does have more. Alright, 32 LEDs that ring, and you can't tell that they're separate. It's all in one ring. It's not like dots or anything, but the 32 LEDs that ring Nexus Q shift and change color in time to your music. Choose your favorite effect and put your Nexus Q where it can be seen and touched. Oh, so it's like a combination between the functional Apple TV and the cool looks of, like, it really does look a whole lot like an iHome. Like, my sister has an iHome iPod docking station, and it's a sphere, and it has lights. It has, like, a bigger area with lights than this, but, yeah. You can connect multiple Qs to fill your house with sound. Okay. So, whereas Apple would want you to get a couple of Airport Expresses and one Apple TV, this, you don't need more routers, you just can get more Qs. So, that is a plus. So, yeah, it is a different approach. Not too much different. It's not crazy different, but it's, I think, a bit newer, and a bit more, not better, because I am not a particular fan of the cloud. I like it, I use it, but, you know, I still like having my own copies of things I'll talk about. But it's, it uses a whole lot of the technologies that we are moving toward, merging into our day-to-day lives. So, just so you can see this thing, once again, it looks like the gallery has some pretty low quality photos compared to the main page, but I will show you it anyways. I don't know if you've seen the Apple TV, but this is the Nexus Q. You'll see there are the lights things there. Those aren't, like, there's nothing here. I know it looks like there's, like, white spots there. That's just dirt on my screen. But, you know, there's the one light there, and then there's the ring of lights there. And it's a sphere. No wired, well, of course there is actually. You see why I don't like tablet PCs, people? There we go. So there's the input. You know. So, yeah. I think it's really cool. I don't know how it is priced, but it's definitely I would consider, especially if I were like looking into an Apple TV, I would look into this at the same time. Not saying I would get it, but I would look into it at the same time. So there's Toslink optical audio, 100 Ethernet, I call it Ethernet. Micro HDMI, Type D, it's micro HDMI. Micro AB, it's micro USB. They don't need to put all these like letters and numbers in there. Come on. Banana jack speaker outputs. I've used those before. Setting up my system, and yeah. Diameter 4.6 inches. Weight 2 pounds. Finish die cast precision machined zinc bottom housing. Injection molded interactive balanced top dome with precision bearing and Satan touch coating. Sounds awfully fancy. Hardware controls. Oh, so the top part of the dome actually rotates for volume control. That is like one of those things where it's like it's a tiny thing that's really neat. Capacitive, that's how you say it, capacitive touch sensor for mute. So I don't know why it needs to be capacitive. Yes, so you don't have to press, you just have to tap. But basically you rotate the dome and the bottom stays still, but you rotate the top for volume control, and then you tap for mute, tap for unmute. In case your Android, like if you're controlling it with your tablet, and your phone isn't Android, if you're controlling it with an Android tablet and it's out of reach, and you really need to turn down that music, then just turn it down or tap to mute it. And I'm sure, like, I know there's going to be somebody who accidentally taps it and then thinks that it's broken. Like, but I just touched it this much. Why did it break? That wasn't that. I didn't punch it. I just tapped it and it broke. No, it's just on mute. Tap it again. See what happens. 32 RGB perimeter LEDs, 1 RGB LED for mute indicator. Pretty just another thing. Doesn't really make a big performance difference, but it's neat. It's fun. Come on, guys. You can have a little fun with your technology. So there is an ARM. Wait, there's 2 ARM CPUs and a generic model number GPU. So, yeah, nothing fancy. Doesn't really need to be that fancy, but memory, 1 GB RAM, 16 gigs flash memory. I don't know what that would be used for when it's all streaming, but okay. Operating system. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 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 We just went over this. There is no operating system. It's just a streaming thing. It says Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. Maybe that's for controlling, or maybe that's like what it shows when it's not playing games, or maybe that's just what's... Of course. It's just built off of Android 4.0. That's my bad. That's just what runs it, like the kernel and stuff. Supporting applications: Google Play Music, Google Play Movies and TV, YouTube. So like those are the apps that you can go onto your Android device and tap the AirPlay, whatever Google calls it, button. AirPlay is what Apple calls it. And tap like whatever you call that queue, like a living room or like stage if you have a stage in your house. I don't know. Connectors and ports, micro HD. What? We already did this. Alright, wireless. AGBN. Wow, so it's actually got more Wi-Fi options than the tablet and the phone do, but got Bluetooth and NFC also. Amplifier, it does have an amp built in. If you're an audio person, you're gonna know what this stuff is. Banana jacks, amplifiers, you know, you're gonna know this stuff. Some people might not, but like us techies know what like the RAM and GPU and CPU means. But there are some people who instead stick to the audio type stuff. So yeah, 25 watt Class D amplifier, 12.5 watts per channel. Power integrated 35 watt switching power supply. World ready 50/60 hertz, 85 to 256 volt AC input. Automatic shutdown for audio amp supply when not in use. So you don't have to worry about power. Okay, so that is pretty neat. There are some accessories, speaker cables that have banana plugs built in, and bookshelf speakers. Okay. Neat. Really nice. I consider getting it. I would. Actually, this doesn't need a TV, does it? It just needs speakers. And they sell speakers. So, like, if you don't have a TV in your room, but you might want some music, I'm gonna look at that. Anyways, finishing up, because I know I had that conversation there, but, oh, wow. I thought I passed the hour mark when I had a conversation. I really need to, well, no, damn. I had a sign on my door that says to text me, but they walked in anyways, but I probably edited it out. Edited it out. Yeah. But I am almost to the 1 minute mark. I've got a minute left, and I'm going to try and actually wrap it up. So, I am the Nerd on the Street, and Google did some stuff this week with their Nexus products that you should definitely take a look at over at google.com/Nexus. And I will be probably, hopefully, making one more video. And in the coming weeks, I'll be doing an Android, or Motorola Atrix 2 review. This is what happens when I talk fast. iOS, iPod Touch 4G review. Nook Color, I might talk about as my other video this week. And also, oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and also internet and cloud videos. I have to upload them both at the same time, and I've got 8 seconds, so I am the Nerd on the Street, and I will see you later. See ya.